Rays Live, the postgame brought to you by the Central Florida Behavioral Health Network. Round 3 of this 5-round heavyweight battle of a baseball series goes to Toronto. Rays jump out early, but the Jays pounce late, and they win this one by a final of 7-2. Welcome inside the Bally Sports Studio. Another edition of Rays Live, the postgame. Second one today.
Yeah.
That's Doug Wechter. I'm Rich Hollenberg. Trisha Whitaker back at Rogers Center in Toronto getting interviews as we speak. And you'll hear from Kevin Cash, his postgame press conference coming up as well. A little bit of a disturbing trend in as much as the Rays got a lead in each of these 3 games, but they only have 1 win in those 3 games to show for it.
Well, I agree. I think the disturbing trend is that the bullpen has been so good throughout the entire year, and then you see late in the game giving up a few runs. We did it again today, where the Blue Jays scored pretty much all their runs from the 6th inning on. And so that is a little bit of an issue. You got a guy in Colin Poche going in there. You're hoping that he could get the job done. Unfortunately, it was not his night. But again, you know, this is one of those things, a long series and a long year, over 162 games. There's going to be a little bit of scuffling right now. And you see it happening with the bullpen, but they'll be fine in the long run.
All right, let's take a look at our CFBHN highlights. The Rays hadn't hit a home run in 6 games, and tonight, Doug, they hit 2 bombs.
Well, how about G-Man Choi batting 129 in the second half, getting into this at-bat? Now he's starting to hopefully break out of that little trend. You see him go up top for his 10th home run. That puts the Rays on the board. That is just the top of the 3rd inning. And then, bottom of the 6th inning, the Blue Jays answer. Alejandro Kirk puts this ball back to Jalen Beeks, and they score 1 run, tying the game right there in the 6th inning. Again, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. scores. But the 7th inning, the Rays come back. Jonathan Aranda steps up to the plate, able to drive out his first home run of his career. How about saying that you hit Alek Manoah, changeup, first bomb.
And an Oppo taco at that for Jonathan Aranda, and that looked like it was the go-ahead run, and maybe the Rays would close out the game and sweep the doubleheader, but no.
No, not unfortunate for the Rays. Whit Merrifield stepped up to the plate, his 24th double of the year. That put the Jays in the lead. And then George Springer for his 20th home run. This ball up in the zone from Colin Poche, but not above the hands. That's where he needs to live. That one caught a little bit too much play. George Springer feeling really good about himself, round tripping the bases right there. Teoscar Hernandez steps up to the plate, able to drive this ball over to left center field. And you see Alejandro Kirk. I know we lost the game, but this still made me smile.
I know,
it is one of those things where you just can't stop watching. Alejandro Kirk scoring from first base. And, yeah, all the Blue Jays are really happy for him, knowing how tough that must be for the big fella.
Oxygen!
Oxygen. Get that man some oxygen. Matt Chapman steps up to the plate, drives the last run in for the Blue Jays. That puts the score 7-2, and that'll be the final. The Blue Jays from Toronto able to take Game 3 and split the doubleheader.
Well, when you think about the fact that now with George Springer hitting his 20th home run of the year, Toronto has 5 guys in their lineup with 20 or more home runs. This is arguably the most complete offense in baseball right now. Not taking anything away from the Yankees, but the Yankees have been all Aaron Judge. As a matter of fact, if you don't know this, Aaron Judge has hit 2 home runs tonight in Boston, so he's got 57. This is something that, you know, you look at the depth of this lineup and you look at the pitching that they could put out there, especially with Alek Manoah, and you see why they are one of, if not the biggest challenge to the Rays down the stretch.
Well, look, I mean, this is a lineup that's always been one of the best lineups, or thought to be one of the best lineups in the big leagues. Going into the season, this one was a feared lineup. You got George Springer right at the top, and then Vladdy Guerrero Jr., Bo Bichette. Everybody knows how hot he has been. Teoscar Hernandez. It's a very thick lineup. In fact, when this lineup is healthy and the Yankees lineup is healthy, I'd almost put this one over the Yankees because they're a little bit thicker. That being said, they've always struggled in the pitching area, right? Specifically in the bullpen, really. But the starting rotation does have a few question marks, and that's where the Rays have been able to handle them. They've also been able in the past to keep them in the park. When the Rays go out there and pitch and are able to keep these Blue Jays in the park, that's where they do their best. But when they're giving up home runs, that's where it gets to be a little bit of a struggle for the Rays. And that's what we saw tonight. We saw the home run ball, you know, take off from them. And we saw some power game from the Blue Jays. And it's just, I mean, it's a lineup that you try to hold down, but every once in a while they're going to jump out on.
Well, they've got power bats, and they certainly have power pitching, too. Alek Manoah, an all-star, didn't get win number number 15 on the season, but he pitched well enough to earn our Ackerman Jewelers Diamond performance.
Well, you got to remember, this guy was sick, and there was a question mark if he was even going to throw today, and he goes out there and spends 6 2/3 innings in just 99 pitches. He got the 5 punch-outs. The slider has always been one of his best pitches. He got 4 of the strikeouts on the slider, and I'll tell you what, the only thing he got beat with is really his off-speed pitches, primarily Aranda hitting that changeup. That's his 4th best pitch, gets beat with that pitch. But besides the 2 mistakes, the 2 solo home runs, he went out there and, I mean, he did what he's been doing all year long. He went out and really attacked the strike zone, got ahead of a lot of hitters, and finished them off with the slider or the fastball. And look, that's a recipe for success.
And while it wasn't a banner night for the Rays relievers in total, the big story pitching-wise for the Rays was another solid outing for Yonny Chirinos.
Yes.
He's our good Greek move of the game, making his first start as a major leaguer in more than 2 years, and he looked sharp.
First start, second appearance. I really liked what we saw from Yonny Chirinos. He was able to go out there, got a couple punch-outs, threw a lot of strikes, got ahead of a lot of hitters. 12 of the 16 batters saw first pitch strikes, which is really good. Means he's attacking the zone. Something else I really liked out of Yonny, 10 of the 13 balls in play were ground balls. That's a 76% ground ball rate. That is huge because that means the sinker had nice depth to it, and when they were putting the ball in play, it was typically on the ground.
And obviously they're stretching him out as we go along. But look, combine these 2 outings, 7 innings, no runs, and just about, what, exactly 100 pitches. I mean, that's what you're hoping for Yonny once he is completely stretched out. And he's the wild card. Speaking of wild card race, he's the wild card down the stretch for the Rays, where he fits into the pitching rotation.
Right, you can get creative with Yonny. I mean, look, this is a guy who goes out there with power stuff who can get a lot of ground balls. So that means if you get into a playoff situation where you might need him out of the bullpen, well, think about it. If somebody's on base, now you can go to Yonny Chirinos and go hopefully get that ground ball double play. He also has strikeout potential. The split finger's there. He's getting really good feel for the slider. It's still coming a little bit, coming off that injury. Remember, he's missed 2 years. But that being said, I mean, this guy could be a big weapon. If they get him stretched out, they can go out of the bullpen or a spot start down the stretch. So really good sign for Tampa Bay having Yonny Chirinos back.
So that's a feel-good story for sure, going back to when he made his first appearance 5 games ago or 5 days ago against the Red Sox. But the feel-good story tonight, pitching-wise, how about Kevin Herget?
Yeah.
31 years old, making his Rays and Major League debut.
It kind of gives me chills knowing how much he's been through just to get to this spot in his life and in his career, going out, making the big leagues. This is huge because now all that time, all that effort put in, it finally had paid off. And I'll tell you, I mean, this is special. Watching him go out there, getting to enjoy it. And, you know, the crazy thing is he was up in the big leagues, just didn't get in earlier. And now he gets sent in to the game. You know, he gave up a couple runs. The line wasn't great, but that being said, you know, an inning and 2/3, he was able to clean up just about a couple innings for the Rays. Either way, just a great story. You just love seeing those kind of stories.
And the bottom line is now he knows, literally, that he could get out big league hitters at the major league level. So hopefully this is not the last time we see Kevin Herget.
Yeah, the coolest thing is for the rest of his life, he can say that he was a Major League Baseball player. I mean, to work that hard and to know everything that he went through and finally make it to the big leagues, that's something that, you know, you can be very proud of.
Well, it was the 30th time this season that the Rays have gone multiple home runs. They usually win those games. They're now 21-9 when they hit more than 1 home run. Tonight they hit 2. Let's take a look at them. G-Man Choi hadn't hit a home run since, what, August 26th?
Been a while.
And he finally went yard.
Yeah, he's been really, really struggling, and they're hoping that he can get some things going. This is his 4th hit in the last 4 games, which is a really good sign. This is also a breaking ball that he's able to stay back on. He was struggling with the breaking ball here this year, only hitting 180 on that pitch, but he stays back on it and drives it out of the park. So G-Man Choi, that is a huge sign for the Tampa Bay Rays. And then how about Jonathan Aranda? Now has hit in 6 straight games. He has gone up to the plate. I don't know the last time I've seen a rookie step up to the plate and look that comfortable that quickly. Aranda is doing a really, really good job, and it's going to be very hard to take him out of the lineup if he continues to swing the bat like this.
Yeah, Jonathan Aranda had a hit in game 1 of the doubleheader. He had a hit, and it was his biggest one yet, the home run. in Game 2 in the nightcap. How about 30 stolen bases now for Randy Arozarena, who was 1 for 5 with that steal. And then Harold Ramirez back on the horse. He was a little struggling there for a few games, but now he's back with 2 singles in the number 3 hole as the DH. So, again, only 2 runs to speak of for the Tampa Bay Rays in the nightcap, but at least they split the doubleheader. They're only down 2-1 in a 5-game series. Tomorrow night, they have a chance to even up that series. We'll talk about that when we return, and you'll also hear from Kevin Cash, his post-game press conference on the way. It was Toronto's night, even though it was Tampa Bay's day. Blue Jays win the nightcap 7-2.